And now you get a behind-the-scenes look how Dubai Future Labs is evolving into one of the world's most advanced real-world R&D test beds, where automation, AI, and robotics go from prototype to policy and from pilot to platform. And moderated is this session by Hadi Talje, the senior content producer at Monify, and he drives Monify's editorial strategy and creates multi-format financial news for the Gen Z as well as the millennial audiences. And he will be on stage with Khalifa AlQama, the executive director of Dubai Future Labs, who's driving Dubai 10 years ahead. So let's give them a warm welcome. Khalifa AlQama and Hadi Talje, welcome! Here, welcome. Great to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. It's a pleasure to be here moderating and Expand North Star. I'm Hadi Talje. I'm the senior content producer at Monify. Monify is a social media company whose mission is to make financial literacy educational, fun, and most importantly, actionable for young people trying to build wealth. I'm really excited about this session because when I think about innovation, I think about AI, robotics, flying cars, drones. And what most people don't know is that for these things, well, these are like science fiction things that we used to think will never become a reality. But what most people don't know is that they are becoming a reality. But before they reach us, they need to be tested somehow. And that's where sandboxes come into play. Sandbox is a controlled environment where innovative technologies can be tested and scaled with regulators and private sector players as well. A fewer places are doing this as boldly as Dubai, and initiatives like Dubai Future Labs are helping the city become a living testbed for frontier technologies. Mr. Khalifa, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
My favorite sci-fi tech is the Terminator, which I hope will never become a reality.
If it was up
What
to
is
us,
your favorite?
If it was up to us, it would be more like Kabamaru and the Japanese style of robots. I think it is always important not only to imagine what the future is going to look like for any technology, like drones, as you've mentioned, or robots, but to actually give them an opportunity to interact with the market coming from universities or from startups. Creating these environments would help you do two things. First of all, we need to understand how to standardize the process of how they interact with the market. And the next step is always, how do we create regulations that are fit for purpose? Because whatever we have done in the last 50 years is definitely not what we need as regulations today.
I want to talk a little bit about Dubai Future Labs. You have played a pioneering role in delivering sandboxes that help frontier technologies go from an idea which is abstract to commercialization, which everybody can use. Can you share how Dubai's sandbox approach helped accelerate innovation adoption, and what makes it so different from global models?
So, if I talk about what we're doing currently, you have the gig economy becoming a very big and important topic that needs to be addressed. How do we interact with this economy? How should the contracts be between the employer and employee? This is a future that we need to rethink. Another area is tokenization as an example, ownership and partial ownership. But the example I'm going to be giving you is the first, before calling it a sandbox, the innovation experimentation zone that Dubai Future Lab worked on, which was for the technology that we all know and love, which are drones. We all knew that drones are going to be very useful to us in society, and especially here in Dubai. But we needed to create an environment where companies could actually test on the ground what does it mean to fly a drone next to a building, next to a school, deliver medical supplies, deliver goods and services that people need or care about. So that took us in a journey of 2 years where we've invited more than 10 companies from all around the world, and they spent around a year and a half testing on the ground how drones should interact with the people, with the delivery folks, and with the recipient and regulators. And thankfully, that led to a new standard and new regulations that will help move the drones from an already existing operational environment in Dubai Silicon Oasis And hopefully by 2027, 33% of Dubai's airspace is going to be open for drones.
Drones are already in use in Dubai right now. Do you think this will be expanded more into every part of the city?
Absolutely. So we have to be mindful about airway and air rights. So the current plan is looking at 33% of the city open for such an activity by 2027.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about, I mentioned in my intro that for sandboxes to work, there needs to be a collaboration between the private and the public sector. How has Dubai Future Lab fostered these relationships between regulators and private industry players to ensure that the sandbox experiments have a real-world impact? And is there an example you can give us from Dubai Future Labs?
So I think ultimately some people might care about technology, but truly what the general care about is how is this technology useful to me in my day-to-day life. And to make it very impactful to us, we have to have environments where we get feedback as technologists from the people using this technology. And let's be honest, the same is true for regulators. They are interfacing and interacting with so many new technologies, and they need to be given the opportunity to see them in real life, understand how they function, how they interact with other technologies and society overall, to put the right regulations in place. So what I think Dubai has done differently than anywhere else is make sure that we bring all the regulators under one umbrella. If you think about all the technologies that affect us today, it is never one regulator that needs to regulate them. Usually it is 2, 3, sometimes up to 4. So bringing them together, making sure that the environment is conducive for the technologists, for the potential users and the regulators to learn over a period of time, sometimes 6 months, sometimes 24 months, depending on the field that you're looking at, to come up with something useful for everyone.
Dubai's government is very agile and is very open to very little bureaucracy we have here, which I think is very good for testing new technologies here. Let's talk a little bit about talent. Everybody knows that Dubai values talent a lot, and innovation isn't just about technology, it's about people as well. How is Dubai Future Labs contributing to building and upskilling local talent that we have here, specifically around robotics and AI, and how is the city planning to remain a hub for global talent in science and engineering?
So I think it's very important maybe to talk about what the Dubai Future Foundation is doing. We have been looking at the Dubai Future Foundation at the innovation life cycle overall, from the research, development, and implementing of innovation. And we had made sure to attract talent. Talent comes in all sorts of shapes and sizes. There is talent that really wants to think about ideas at the early stages, and this is where we've started providing grants. Soon enough, we're going to be providing more grants towards experimentation to make sure that these technologies could be implemented in the real world. And at one point of time, these technologies go to become, hopefully, companies. And at that stage, this is where the sandbox as a tool for the city becomes very useful to allow these technologies to be tested in an open, real environment and making Dubai into an actual living lab. Now, maybe to cover the point that you've said, I think talent comes, as I said, in all shapes and sizes, and it's important to cover the talent and attract them by allowing all these opportunities to be available for them in this market.
Interesting. A lot of people think when we talk about sandboxes that we're talking in experiments in a vacuum, but there's a lot of partnerships involved. So Dubai has built strong global partnerships with academics, with industries, and international tech leaders. How do these collaborations strengthen Dubai's R&D ecosystem, and what role do they play in ensuring that technologies developed here are globally competitive and can be applied globally as well?
Now, if we think of any technologist working on a technology, it is very hard to think of the nodes right now available around the world that develop technology, where you can do everything that you want to develop the technology in one jurisdiction. Connecting to the world and making sure that ideas can flow more freely from a jurisdiction to a jurisdiction is something exceptionally important. It allows the dissemination of ideas. Maybe something that starts in Seoul could potentially be useful in Dubai in a different manner, and something that is working in Dubai could be exported and go towards somewhere in the West like Europe or San Francisco. Building these connections happens in two ways. One is making sure that we invite everybody from around the world to view Dubai as a landing hub, and B, inviting Dubai's companies to interact through partnerships that we establish with nodes that we think are very useful and good in technologies that we care about, like robotics and AI.
Okay, this is going to lead me to my last question. If we meet again at Expand North Star 5 years from now, what breakthroughs from Dubai Future Labs will you be telling me about?
Definitely not Terminator. We're going to work to not allow that to happen.
I don't want that either.
I think very soon, and we've seen the start of it, of this beginning, robots and humans and their interactions is something that we have to think about and be very mindful of how we design. And it's not very far away. I think a year or two from today, we will be naturally interacting with these autonomous systems, but they are not going to be fully autonomous. They are going to be overseen by humans to deliver very useful capabilities that we all would like.
So is this for personal use or commercial use, do you think, first?
I think the commercial is going to come first before the personal, yes.
Okay, amazing. I can't wait for it.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Khalifa, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you all for being part of this conversation on how Dubai is not just preparing for the future, but testing for it today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hadi.
Thank you.